live coverage from the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. Brian Cooley with Editor-in-Chief Tim Stevens of Roadshow. And joining us now, really pleased to have him back again this year, is Lex Kerssemakers, who's the North American CEO for Volvo Cars. And Lex, thanks for being with us again this year. And thanks for doing another fascinating press conference again this year, because you guys are, as far as anybody in terms of, the farthest
Absolutely.
out of real self-driving, right?
The first to bring a fully autonomous car to consumers, and the first one was delivered today to a family in Gothenburg, or just south of Gothenburg, I think they said that they live. And that delivery took place today here in Detroit.
Yeah, we invited the family Haynes from Göteborg. We flew them in because it's very interesting. Autonomous drive is a lot about technology and a lot about regulations, but it's very few who talk about actually those who are going to use the cars. And so where the Volvo brand, we have a long history, we are a very human-centric brand. So we would like to know, and that's what our test in Göteborg is about end of this year, where we put 100 families into the car and see how they are going to use it in their daily life. Because at the end, we can talk about technology and all the other things. They have to feel comfortable with it. They need to be convenient with all the technology.
How will your teams be reporting back to you and your senior management about what you're finding? Is it going to be a dialogue and an interview from time to time? Do you have special sensors in the cars that will be able to tell you how they're using them? Because this is going to be fascinating, and it's new data that no one's ever harvested before.
No, the word test engineer is probably not totally appropriate, but they will be with us. They are, in respect of autonomous drive, they're our voice of the regular customers. So we will have interviews. They will fill in some data sheets on how they use it and when they use it. So they become an integrated part of the development process.
And how does automotive insurance work in this case? Is Volvo paying for the insurance for these cars?
Yeah, we take care of everything related to the car. So it's our car. They drive it, and we pay them. They pay us by giving the feedback.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So and it's
for a nice car too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they had to apply for this. So they send in videos.
Yeah, what was some of the criteria? How did your team choose who was best? Because it wasn't just a promotion. This is real research.
No, and there is no good or bad, because what is a good family and what is a bad family?
You want an array.
So
right?
we just want to have a normal family. But again, what's a normal family? So we asked them to send in a video about their family life. Who's driving the car? How do they interact? What's their social life? Do they have sports club obligations or whatever? So so they had to apply for it, and then we selected based on a number of criteria. I said, okay, this is a good family, and the family Haynes is one of them.
It's nice to see something that's not done with big data.
That's true, absolutely. Something with a
Just
little bit
common
of a personal
sense.
touch.
No, and a lot of human touch, because at the end we talk about human being and our customers.
So this is only in Sweden right now. Can you give us an idea of where might be the next test market, and basically when can I get one? Because that's really all I want to know.
No, we will run a similar project, or we have plans to run a similar project in London and in China, where the place is still to be defined.
Now, I'm biased because I'm a big station wagon format lover, so that V90 is so damn pretty. I can't. It's just gorgeous.
You're not wrong.
That is a pretty car. I mean, of all the, the way the design DNA pushes across the 90s, I just think it looks the best on the V90. That shooting brake style, it just draws it out. What are your expectations for a station wagon style vehicle at a time when everything seems to be going toward a chunkier, taller vehicle? What's the rationale behind that?
Yeah, we still have, Volvo is well known for sports wagons, and we have a rather solid customer base also in the United States. It's not the highest volume, but they expect us to bring a sports wagon. And what we said is that, okay, we wanted to launch the V90 in the United States, but we did not want to have all the high stock levels, retailers taking cars on the yard, and so let's turn it around. Let's utilize the trends happening in society. Online sales is increasing. Tailor-made service for individuals is increasing. So we have decided two things. First of all, we are going to sell the V90 in the United States only online. At the end, the retailer is taking care about the delivery, but the customer can order the car online, either behind his or her desk or together with the retailer
So the retailer may still have some stock. It's not all custom order, is it? Or will they be all per order?
There's potentially there is some stock, but as limited as possible.
All right.
Because
this is a more bespoke program.
We have car configurators on the web. So the purpose is that you put your own car together with or without the help of the retailer, and then you come into what we call a concierge process, where you get support either via telephone or via mail or via chat, where we guide the customer further if he or she elects not to go to the retailer. We can help the customer to put the car together. Those people are sitting in Rockley, where we are in our headquarters. And by that, we have custom order production, tailor-made, because the customer can really make the car he or she wants. There is no stock at the retailer. What we have to get used to, and that's new in the United States, that you have to wait 2 or 3 months for your car.
Which is not unusual in Europe, right?
It's very usual in Europe.
Right.
But
Americans do these strange impulse buy. You go down and buy, and you buy whatever is the nearest match to your dream car. It's a very different expectation. Europeans want exactly the right car.
Exactly, and what we're going to try it. We do it already with more exclusive cars, like the Polestar cars, because customers really want to put that car together. But now we're going to do it with a somewhat higher volume car like the V90. And this is a huge step forward. And I think applies also to all the changes which are happening in society and the way people start to buy cars.
How about factory delivery? Will that be an option as well for this car?
That's another one, because we have a well-known overseas delivery program where you order the car, you go and pick it up in Sweden, get a nice tour in the factory, and enjoy the delivery process. Then make a tour in Europe. You go to whatever town you want or city you want, leave the car wherever you want, and we'll take care about the shipment back to the US.
So this new ordering program, where did it come from? Is this about starting to move the entire Volvo sales process in the future to something more like that? Or is this something that is just a more efficient production process for you internally?
No, I think it's a combination of. We all know that the business model is highly under pressure. It becomes more and more difficult to make money, also for the retailers and for the OEMs, because the prices are set by the market and the costs are simply increasing. So having less stock at the retailer or for us at the harbor is an instant benefit.
Sure.
Combine that, but that customers are getting used to online buying. They're getting used to buying cars online. So what we're trying to do is here, we're trying to combine a few things where it should be a win-win situation.
And Cadillac's been getting a lot of guff, though, from some of their dealers with Project Pinnacle that says the lowest volume will go to almost this model. You won't have any inventory, and the customer will order digitally, and we'll just use you for delivery. But their motivations are different than yours, if I understand this correctly. What you're trying to do is different, and for different reasons. You're trying to make it more bespoke.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to, at the end, it's the biggest benefit goes to the customer, because they can order the car they really want, and they can do it in whatever way they want. So we don't force them anymore to go to the retailer, other than closing.
All right,
closing the sale will always take place because
that's the process.
No, but that's the process.
That's the franchise law
exactly. And we are perfectly okay with that.
That's interesting.
Now we've seen the XC90, the S90, the V90, and the cross country, all great looking cars. When can we expect things to get a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit more affordable? When can we see that new design language push down the range a little bit?
Yeah, and this you can imagine this design language will be pushed down further the line. And we have said already that during 2017 we will launch 2 new crossovers. We will launch the successor of the XC60, and we will launch a small SUV, the XC40. And of course we are very excited about that, because the SUVs, especially in the United States, is booming. So we have.
Will we also see a new smaller wagon that carries over the look of the 90s? Or are you done with wagons by just
No.
the top end?
No, absolutely not. We are, because
Okay.
wagons in Europe are extremely popular.
And we'll get some other wagons here.
Absolutely, and
Okay.
and I
Okay, good.
strongly believe
Great.
that there
We
is a
can
wagon
rest easy.
potential.
Great, I know.
Also, also in the
Somebody
United
getting kind of
States.
twitchy there for a minute?
No,
Please.
no, because we're so close to wagons. Wagons is so much the history and the heritage of Volvo. So
Yeah.
I don't think we will ever give up wagons in whatever format. High wagons, low wagons, because there will be a variation on it.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the 1800, I mean, you stuck a stake in the ground with that gorgeous GT sports wagon, and no one's ever forgotten that way that you could make a wagon so long and lean, even though it wasn't a very large car, but the proportions were like no other wagon ever made.
Yeah.
If you want to call it a wagon.
And then we used all those design languages and forms on our new cars, the V90, and that's why we believe that the V90 is probably the best looking sports wagon in the world.
No argument here.
But I'm not totally biased.
No, I don't think we can argue. I think we're both pretty smitten by the new design language, and we're really eager to see where it lands next.
So congratulations on some great announcements and being basically at the very front of autonomy in the real world.
Tip
That's
of the
impressive.
spear, yeah.
Yeah, and you know why? Because autonomous drive is part of our Vision 2020, that we don't want anybody to be killed or seriously injured by 2020. And autonomous drive is a tool, is an essential tool for us to reach that goal. Then of course there are all the convenience factors, but we strongly believe, like in the United States, that it cannot continue with all the technology available in the world, that 35,000 people get killed in road traffic, and it's because of distraction, it's because of other rules, and we have all the technology in the world in a few years to take that away.
And some would say we have the technology now to reduce that by maybe 10,000, or by the end of this year, let's say. Even as imperfect as autonomous technology is, what is it about the public's lack of sympathy for autonomous technology that will have hiccups at first? It seems like we have to get it perfect, or they will reject it.
But it's what we talk about is a revolution in the automotive environment, and revolutions always do not come natural. It's always a little bit uncomfortable when you make dramatic changes. And I see on the internet those polarized discussions about I want to drive myself, but that's not the issue. It's a choice. It's a switch.
Yeah, you're just adding choice, and that doesn't seem to get communicated. We're adding more choice. It sounds like we're moving you to something new, when in fact we're just giving you more.
Exactly, because it's in certain circumstances nobody can tell me that when you drive in LA or New York you enjoy driving when you're just queuing up. That's where this technology is very convenient. And when you drive on a very nice road, you drive yourself. We don't have to make that choice. It's like a cruise control on or off.
Before we let you go, what are you driving these days?
I'm currently driving a V60 Polestar.
Okay, very nice.
But I'm going to switch as soon as the first V90 is entering American soil. I will switch over.
Okay, we
to
got a wagon man amongst us.
All right.
Absolutely.
We've got three wagon guys. We can just sit here and talk
We can
wagons
switch
all
cars,
day.
yeah.
That sounds all right too.
Lex, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it.